No, he's a good lad. Point is how I don't know if he smashed it, but if he has, tough. No, he's going already. We're going now. We'd have Jules Birkby. Where's Jules Birkby? So I don't know if Jules has presented before. Has been presented before, Jules?
No, never.
She hasn't. So I want everyone to give me your full support, your love, your encouragement, and give a great big welcome to Jules. Come on!
Can everyone hear me?
Yeah. Are you ready?
Yeah. Okay, hi, I'm Jules, and I think the world can be divided into two groups. The people who think I'm about to talk to you about the clothes swap, and the people who are currently recoiling in horror at the apostrophe. Now, if you're anything like me, you'll be recoiling in horror, because you'll have spotted the redundant apostrophe, or greengrocer's apostrophe, as it's sometimes called. And it annoys some people more than others. If you're anything like me, it will annoy you on a daily basis. So you'll maybe start your day, you'll read an email in the morning, you'll see it's without an apostrophe. Which is fine, because it's early, and take a deep breath, it's fine. But then you'll maybe see on Twitter, you're wonderful without an apostrophe, and maybe that's just phone predicted text, let's get over that one. But then maybe later on you'll be in the supermarket and you'll see 10 items or less rather than 10 items or fewer. And then you'll be watching telly and you'll see thousands of bargains with an apostrophe. Before you know it, you're on the sofa in the middle of a gin-fueled existential crisis because the world has forgotten how to punctuate. Or is that just me? Well, I'm a copywriter, and so I'm obviously quite pedantic when it comes to spelling and grammar and punctuation. But I've had countless of conversations with people who've tried to persuade me otherwise, and no less than a mystery man on Twitter who wrote a most eloquent reply to a tweet that I wrote about bad grammar. And this is what he wrote. Who gives a fuck? It's Twitter, not an English essay. Get a life! Well, how do you reply to a tweet like that? Well, here's how you reply, if you mean. And you just correct his grammar. Similar arguments were happening on Twitter all last week after Waterstones made the heinous crime of deciding to drop their apostrophe from their name. Now, I think you know what I think about that. But suffice to say, it got me thinking about grammar and punctuation and whether Mr. Will7 from Twitter has a point. Do we just have to come to terms that language is evolving? And in this day and age, does punctuation even matter anymore? Well, I'm here to tell you that, yes, punctuation does matter, and Will7 does not have a point because he's an idiot. So, here's why, for the next slide comes up. So, you may have read a book called Eat, Shoots and Leaves by Lynn Truss, a very good book, and in it she describes punctuation as the stitching of language, and without it language comes apart. And I think this is a really good description, because language isn't actually there to confuse, punctuation isn't there to confuse us, it's actually there to help us. And punctuation is actually quite beautiful. It tells us when to stop, when to pause, it tells us if there's a question or an exclamation, and if you pop an apostrophe in there, you've got a contraction or possession. So that's all very well and good, but what happens if grammar's ignored? Of course, something doesn't matter at all. Sometimes it's fine. So Paul's Cathedral, Tom's computer game, Dick's in tray, kind of open to interpretation. And similarly and famously, Prudential's old strapline used to be Prudential were here to help. So without the apostrophe, you'd be forgiven for thinking that they just shut up shop and gone home. And it's not just about apostrophes either. Commas can also completely change the meaning of a sentence. Another example from Eat, Shoots and Leaves, a woman without her man is nothing. Or a woman without her man is nothing. Very, very different meanings. And then there's hyphens. Extramarital sex is obviously getting a bit more action at home, but extramarital sex means something quite different. Don't confuse those, could land you in quite a lot of trouble. Similarly, is it hard working man or hard working man? Is it 200 odd members of the Conservative Party? It probably just is actually. But so either this will resonate with you or it won't. If it does, then I propose action. Well, I propose a hashtag actually, but that's more or less the same these days. Next time you see something that's very badly punctuated on Twitter, retweet it with the hashtag grammar. It'll make it much better, but Lee Will 7 may tell you to get a life. I hope I've left you with some idea that grammar can be very important, because at the end of the day, the difference between good grammar and bad grammar is knowing your shit and knowing your shit. Thank you.
Jules Birkby! Yeah. The